as I wrote in the book, that a woman is a butterfly that lands on your hand is the metaphor I use. And she might stay there forever, and you curl your hand up a little bit to keep the wind away and but she might fly off. And if you hold her like this, the old saying, hold on tightly, let go lightly, so if you hold on tight like this, you could crush her and crush her spirit, and vice versa. So, so I don't know, I'm saying a lot about it, but I think if you can wake up in the morning, I'll say something. I've been with Deanna for many years now, and never once did we say, I promise you this something. We never said it, and we're married now. But was never, even in that, there was never this, I promise forever. And it was just more like, I just adore you. I smile when I lift up in my chair whenever you enter a room. And I really enjoyed my day with you today. I would love to see you again tomorrow. That's how I started the relationship with her. I wasn't dating her. Well, was I? You were there in those early days, remember? And I was in and out of Bucharest back then. But I really liked her, and she was the only woman that I was thinking about when she wasn't around. I kept thinking about it as I go back to Romania and see her again, and something was just lighter in my. She was just something about her. And anyway, all I ever said to her is, I'd love to stay with you. I'd love to see you again tomorrow. That's all I said, and I've been saying that for 14 years. We never had this, I promise that I will, blah 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 blah. I don't have it. That commitment phrase.
Yeah. Well, it makes me curious how what you said in your marriage, because from my understanding, I think almost everybody's marriage is a series of commitments. It's a religious uh, commitment, and well, always a legal commitment.
Yes. When we got married, it was something that was, we were together for a lot of years before that. And there was something in post marriage that was just really freeing, as you said, started this conversation with.
Hmm.
Not freeing like, okay, I got that handled, and that's okay, now I can turn my face on my business. Just I really amplified the care and affection I had for her. It's strange. I really have a lot of affection for her. I really like her. I think as a person, I think she's a phenomenal. But it amplified when we got married, which is strange. Now, like I have this commitment now, or this obligation to make sure that she's more like I just, I don't know what it was. It just amplified my affection, which is really an interesting thing, because I had a lot of affection for her before.
So a lot of men, and I think a lot of women, would say something like, "Wow, sounds like you got off really lightly because, in my committed relationship, I have to make these commitments and promises, and if I don't keep up with these commitments and promises, I'm going to get a lot of trouble." Which is, if I all of a sudden
Yeah.
kick my feet up and sit back, recline on the sofa, and do what I want to do in my life, um, and I don't muck in with the family affairs, or I don't save for the future, or put into her insurance account, or whatever it is, then there's going to be hell to pay for, and I'm now
That's because,
obligated in that. And how did you, on the first hand, manage to score a relationship or score a marriage where you seem to have a clean past from all of the not only are you my partner, but you're my insurance policy, and you're my rock, and you're my being in the world that saves me from the dragons, and you can't stop doing that, otherwise I'll collapse. This isn't a thing that a lot of women put onto men, and that a lot of men will go into thinking it's normal. And then they don't have a lot of leverage to shift certain relationship patterns later, because the commitments spoken and expected, like unspoken and expected of the other, because of our conditioned images of what a husband and wife should do, etc. Um, that can be very, very constraining. I mean, that's the cause why so many men feel terrible in their relationships and end up wanting to break up.
yeah, it's because I tell you, in my 20s and 30s, man, I was jealous, and I would be watchful and suspicious and stuff. Yeah, my 20s for certain. And that's slapped out of me. It's gone from my system. That whole concept of manipulation, jealousy. because of my contemplation, not because of, of anything else. I know that the world and human nature is chaotic and things happen, but there's something in me that really embraces idea that woman is in your life for a season. You have no claim on anything. She could change her spirit one day or her desires and want to move away, and you have no claim on that, because I do see it as me trying to become me and her trying to become her, and the relationship. I really strongly embrace that, and the idea that this young beauty may be gone from your life someday, but she's not yet. You have her now, and what a celebration that feels in the morning when you wake up and there she's smiling. So that is the concept of gratitude that I'm writing about in my second book. But that gratitude appeases all the gods of jealousy, because she's here for a season. And hopefully the season lasts again tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day. And so it changes the perspective of how you look at it, as opposed to, okay, if you don't have this Venn diagram of a relationship, then you blend it together, and now you're cohabiting each other's emotional space, and you're like, you have to make me happy. We do things together, we do things together in relationship, but my happiness is dependent on you being a certain way, and that's emotional blackmail. And we give a lot of space in our relationship too. It was just another thing I thought of, like, a loving distance, the sixth love language. We give a lot of space, and she's got her own world, she's got her own trajectory, she's got her own career, she's got her own social network of the things she's working on. I'm Mars Amrata, she's doing her design work, and we come together and we celebrate and we tell the stories of the day. So I really, gratitude, I think, is the to know that you could not have it, but you do, and that feeling of like, I've got to hold it tight because I don't want to lose it, because I'll never get another girl like her, which I had in my youth. That's been replaced by this feeling. I hope I'm describing it well.
Yeah.
Replaced by this feeling that the first phrase in my book, The Alabaster Girl, is all beautiful things must end, otherwise they're not beautiful. So things are for a season. She's a butterfly in my hand, and she's here now. So celebrate it and jump for joy, and be excited, and shower her with affection while she's here, because it could end, but it hasn't yet. And so that replaced my containment and my, the idea, like, and I know that people will recognize themselves in this. When I was younger, man, if I could, I would look over her shoulder to check her email out, just on the computer. And in all these years I've been with Deanna, I have never once, not once, looked at her phone. I've never looked over. If she's got, Gmail up or something, I look away. And not because of anything other than I just don't, because that was me before. And I don't want to have a drop of that. I've never looked in her purse. She says, "Will you get my purse and get my wallet out of it?" I bring her purse to her. You take your own wallet out of your purse. Just because if I went back to any of the feeling of that petty jealousy or suspicion for no reason, I would break my heart. I can't go back to that person that I was. So, but it was because of my contemplation, my study, my literature I've been reading, the shortness of life, the Holy Spirit of beauty that I've been dedicated my life to these last 25 years, that my jealousy and my pettiness and my insecurities have been usurped by this real feeling of gratitude, because I have this beauty in my life today, and it could be another way, but it isn't, not yet.